viewers about different kind of working capitals, how to get funding for your business. What about the business credit cards? I have a lot of business credit cards.
Yeah.
I think I shouldn't have done that. But at the time when I started my business, when I was trying to make myself go into different states, Bank of America, thank you very much, was giving out a lot of business credit cards. So I do have some business credit cards. I know it's revolving. I know it's under my EIN number. And I know
Sure.
when I first have it, they're like, you have 12 months of 0% interest, which is good because then you can roll over all the other cards to that credit card and be able to use it, which 0% interest for 12 months is very helpful but then it's kind of because the interest you can write off on your taxes.
Right. So, yeah. So, I mean, you can write the interest off on the taxes. But if we don't have to pay the interest, that might be that's extra money that we have. Yeah, that we have in savings or the cash that we can actually deploy. So I think with business credit cards, again, you just want to look at what you're using those for,
right?
And be conscious of those things. We got some programs going that I've been seeing a lot lately where we're doing zero. Banks have been doing 0% for 12 to 18 months.
Bank of America.
Yes.
Shout out Bank of America. I love you guys.
Yeah, they're one. Yeah, there's quite a few. I mean, Chase, Amex, even Truist has some good things going on right now. But in order to get some of those great cards, you want to go through the business banking channel. If you're not dialed in with business banking, it helps to deal with someone who's a broker and someone who can help you on the loan side. But in general, business credit cards are really good, especially if they're under your EIN number and you're using them responsibly, because they typically have higher limits, which are more appropriate for business. You're doing things that cost higher transactions, and it's not hindering you from the personal standpoint. Whereas I'm sure you've probably heard of debt to income ratio when people are getting ready to buy a home or car or things of that nature. So that definitely helps out because it's not going to show. It doesn't show anywhere
on your credit report.
Exactly. Right. It shows on your only on your business. So so that's good in that way. And then it's also good from the standpoint of we know business is a calculated risk. There's no guarantee that we're going to be successful. Nope. There's no guarantee of how well we're going to do. So we're all taking a chance. We're making a calculated risk and bet on ourselves. So you want to hedge that bet by letting the business carry its own debt. Should something happen, you're not liable for that personally.
Again, this is iHeartRadio. We got to shout out iHeartRadio. We're on the radio. We are streaming it through Facebook, but we're actually on iHeartRadio. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like and share. Yes, Tara, higher limits, they're beneficial. It's not affecting your personal credit. Because I know I got an SBA loan, I think 5-6 years ago. And whenever I do my credit, like when I check my credit, it's never there. And nobody ever asked me, where's this loan at or where's that loan? But I paying it for my business. And the interest rate is very, very low. So I did get an SBA loan. If you need help with getting the SBA loan, you can always reach out to me. It's 404-791-8840. Your personal credit has to be good and your business credit has to be strong. Remember, this is a government-backed loan for small businesses. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man, it does help. Let the business carry its own debt. Good job, Tara. Let the business, instead of you carrying the debt, make your business carry the debt. Good job. Thank you. Remember, AC, business line of credits is only interest paid on the fund used. And what is capital stack?
What is your capital stack?
What is a capital stack?
What is your capital stack? Your capital stack is the mix of those different funds that you're going to have in place. So you're going to have some cash. You may have some business credit cards. You might have some business line of credit. We may factor some of your accounts receivable. So the stack is just the utilization of those different tools because they're all designed for different purposes. You're gonna sometimes need more than one, and that's what's referring to as your stack or your mix.
Can a business get a grant?
They can.
Okay.
And we need to invite a guest in here to educate our clients, educate our listeners a little bit more about that. But yes, there are grants that are out there, and grants are great. If you can qualify for a grant, by all means, take advantage of it, because that's money you don't have to pay back.
Right.
Yeah. So money you can invest into your business that you don't have to pay back. So just knowing how to layer that capital stack between the grants and the debt and equity and credit lines and vendor terms, all of those things can help you out. And that's a powerful thing, because in business, you always want to try to speed up your accounts receivable and you want to slow down the accounts payable. So that allows you to hold on to that money a little bit longer.
Okay. When they talk about 30, net 30, net 60, net 90, what are they talking about?
Yes. First, real quick shout out to Cullen, Lucky CO. Appreciate the love. Thank you for tuning in. One more time, Dr. Huie, I got distracted. I had to give a shout out.
Yeah, I have to give a shout out all the people on Facebook. Thank you for tuning in, like, and share. Thank you, Tara, for always being in my back corner. Thank you, Danita. Thank you, Miss Price. Thank you for everybody. We're trying to educate. This is about educating. I know last week I got a lot of good feedback. If there's any questions or any subject that you guys want us to do, please just text us or email us 404-791-8840. We'll be having guests with different opinions. We'll be having business owners from the community. It won't just be us, because alone talking, we're building on what we already have, and we need to get your input of what do you really, really want to know about. Because remember, this is a community effort. It's not just a Dr. Huie and AC effort. So thank you for tuning in, like, and share. Okay, what about separating your personal and business credits? AC, the money guy.
Man, what about it, Dr. Huie? I mean, that's a strong move, and I think we kind of been talking about it a little bit earlier, but it's critical to do that, because you're putting it, when you, like, for example, when you carry business debt on your personal credit, it can make you look like a poor credit risk, because the bank doesn't know what you have going on. All they know is you have a line of credit for $50,000 and you got $46,000 on there. Right. They don't know that $46,000 is going to make you $150,000 or $200,000. They're not looking at it from that standpoint. They're looking at it like you're a W-2 employee, not as a business owner, and it makes you look more likely to be in trouble. And someone explained to me a while ago your credit score, and probably the easiest way to understand your credit score is the numerical representation of the likelihood that the bank thinks you'll go into default in the next 90 days.
Yeah, but I've seen people with 800 credit score that don't qualify for anything. Yes. So can you let us know why? I think you have to have a mixture of credit, because I've had people say, oh, my credit is 780 and I got denied for this and that. Does it matter what kind of credit you have, or just having good credit? Because people say, I have good credit, but when they apply, they don't get nothing.
Sure. So good credit most of the time when people say good credit, they think about the score.
Right.
And the score is huge. It's very, very, very important. But the mix of credit's important also.
Right.
I had a young man, young entrepreneur. He was wanting to get funding for his business. His credit scores were all in the 700s, but we had trouble getting him qualified. We were able to get it done eventually, but the challenge was that his available credit in the lines of credit, the mix of credit, if you will, he didn't have the right mix, and his available credits were very low. So although he was very responsible with everything, he hadn't really been trusted with the significant amount of money. So the banks felt apprehensive to do certain types of financing for them. So the score is one factor. So you think about the score, and you also got to think about their capacity to repay.
Right.
And that may be a place where people who have a great credit score might get stuck. You got great credit, but you make $10,000 a month, but your bills are $8,500.
So that means you're close to that threshold of if something happens,
you're scared.
Right. That's why we told you last week to have emergency fund money.
How many months?
At least 6 months. Because right now I'm going through the same thing, that I may have to do certain things. And you need to have at least 6 months add up all your bills. If your bill is 5,000, you need to have at least $25,000 in the bank because you can go from top to bottom in no time. And there's different ways. Like my pastor says, sell some of the things in your closet. I was like, my clothes, I gotta sell my clothes. But if push come to shove, I will sell my clothes, I will sell my shoes. Yes, there's ways that you can accumulate some funds.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cut out the Starbucks. I make my coffee. I go and buy me a big container of coffee. And I make my coffee every morning. So my coffee for 2 months cost me $5.99. I'm not going to Starbucks to buy coffee. I'm not going to McDonald's to buy coffee. When I'm a teacher, when school time comes, I make my lunch for the whole week.
Yeah.
So when I'm traveling and doing all of these things, it's because I'm fiscally responsible on most of the things that needs to be done. So yes, you can have those 5-6 months if you are willing to do some of the sacrifice and start. Now, what budget is very important.
Yes. That reminds me of a young lady who I used to work with at Wells Fargo, and everybody be going out to eat at lunchtime, and she would have her brown sack lunch, all the rest of it. And there were some people that would tease her, like, oh, you never go nowhere. You don't spend no money. You don't do so they're giving her all this grief. But this lady would always come back from vacation, have these wonderful pictures, and would take these great trips. And one day, I guess she had enough of everybody kind of riding her about her sack lunch. And she just chimed in. She said, this sack lunch right here is how come I'm able to show you guys all those great pictures on those vacations, because I don't go spend $20 every day to go sit down at a restaurant. I save that $20 and I'm able to take 2 or 3 trips like this. So y'all go ahead and enjoy your chicken wings. I'm gonna go ahead and stamp my passport.
Right. That's 20 times. That's $600 a month if you're $20 every day eating out. That's why I try not to do it. I go to the grocery store on Sunday and I make a big meal and I separate it for the whole rest of the week. And that is the way you can do a budget. Yes, Danita. Yes, Tara. Yes, starting a budget is a good way that you can set away that 5-6 months of expenses. So how your business needs to have its own credit identity to scale. What are some of the fast facts of building business credit, AC? The money guy.
I love it. Say it again.
AC, the money guy.
Yeah. And got the tax diva over here. Yeah. But you guys are listening to us on Atlanta Talks on iHeartRadio. You may be listening to us stream, but you can tune in nationwide on the iHeartRadio apps on Atlanta Talks. Make sure to bookmark us every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be letting you know, unlocking the combination to that wealth code piece by piece. So you asked the question, some of those fast facts that the business needs to know to scale. Well, and some of this is going to sound repetitive because a lot of people, it might be elementary to some and not to others, but you got to register your business with the Secretary of State.
You got to educate people. Not everybody know because
they don't.
Sometimes, like I had a teacher come in and she paid like $7,000 in taxes. I said, you can get back some of these taxes if you start a little business. Start a little business so you can offset some of the taxes. I'm not telling you to do anything illegal. I'm telling you, use what you. Hey, Slim Jim Rock, how you do? Thanks. Great advice. Thank you very much. I will be seeing you guys soon. Register your business with the Secretary of State.
Yes.
You can write off your cell phone. You can write off your mileage. But I think with the big, beautiful bill, I was hearing that certain things after December 31st, you will not be able to write off. Like, I think they were saying food, like the food that you have for your clients, you will not be able. But we're telling you how to build business credit fast and also telling you the tax ramification part. So register with the Secretary of State. What's the next thing?
So the next thing is you're going to want to obtain the EIN. So
what's the EIN?
That is your employee identification number.
How do I get that?
How do you get that? You're going to go to irs.gov, or you're going to call Dr. Huie, or you're going to call Mr. Carr, and we can help you get that set up. But you can do that for free at irs.gov. You want to make sure you register with your Secretary of State first, because that's what's going to tell you if your name is available. because you could come up with this great name for your business and you go do your EIN number and then you go register with the state and come to find out it's already gone. So then you can't use it. So start there, go get the EIN from the IRS.
What's the next step?
Next step, you want to open a business bank account.
Can I just open up the business bank account, or what do I need?
Yep. So the banks are going to want you to bring in your articles of incorporation from your Secretary of State. You're going to need to bring in proof of your tax ID number. So there's a letter that you'll get from the IRS when you do that. And just one tip, if you're registering that for the first time, you can either elect to have that emailed to you. You can get it, you can get it online, or they can physically mail it to you. If you do it online, they only send it to you that one time, and so make sure you save it, because you're gonna catch it trying to get that again. But yeah, you're gonna need to bring those two things in with you to open your business bank account. And typically, obviously a deposit, banks like money, so bring some of that with you too.
At least $100. I know with Bank of America, if you deposit more than, I think it's $10,000, you don't pay a fee. So try to have some money when you go. What about getting listed with Dun & Bradstreet?
Dun & Bradstreet is huge, 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 very, very important, because Dun & Bradstreet is the main reporter of business terms. And so, yes, you're going to want to set up your Dun & Bradstreet profile, and you can do that by going to their website.
And if you need any help with that, I actually have somebody that works at Dun & Bradstreet. Her name is Keisha. So if you want to reach out to get that part of the business done, or even to set up your Secretary of State or EIN, I do that with my business. Again, my number is 404-791-8840.
We need to invite Keisha on the show. I would love to hear what tidbits she would have for us, as someone who works with Dun & Bradstreet. So the Paydex score is kind of like your business credit score rating. So your Paydex score ranges from 0 to 100. So if you have at least a score of 80 plus, so thinking like your grading scale at school, if you're 80 plus, you're doing good. It means you're making on time or early payments. And that's the Paydex score is based solely on payment history, not utilization. And that's probably one of the biggest differences between business credit and personal credit. Business credit is more so about the payment history than it is about the utilization. So,
Okay. So let's move on. We are coming down to the wire now. We only have a few minutes. So some of the things we talked about was SBA loans, revenue-based financing, accounts receivable financing, merchant cash advances, business cash cards. Separating your business from your personal, make sure you have a system of recording your profits and loss. That's very important. That's keeping your books.
Keeping your books. Yes.
Profit and loss. When you're coming in to have your taxes done, because I do the tax part and he talks about the finance part. Please have your books. That's the hardest thing when people come in and they're like, oh, my receipt is here. Oh, my receipt is there. Oh, my receipt. Have a way of tracking all your business. Set a budget also for your business. Don't dip back and forth. Separate your personal and your business credit from one another.
Absolutely. Okay. And when you talk about that, you talk about separating those expenses and just keeping those things separate. People not having their books in order are one of the main reasons why businesses don't sell for the full amount that they could go for. So if you don't have your books in order, an investor can't verify what you're telling them about the business. So if you're looking to sell the business or looking to raise capital or get investment, that's one of the big things that holds people up, not having those books in order.
Okay. So we talked about the budget. What is section 125 cafeteria plan? It's not the cafeteria we go eating at when we in school, right?
No, not that kind of cafeteria. So it's a pre-approved tax benefit structure that allows that reduces employer payroll taxes. So it allows for you to make pre-tax contributions for certain benefits. So that benefits the owner of the company, and it also benefits the employee, because those deductions for things like your health, your dental, your vision, and dependent care those things come off, are deducted before your tax liability is deducted or is calculated. So, so basically, you want to stack with tax strategies to make capital efficient. So that's why it's important that it's very important that you have a team, and you need multiple people on your team. You're going to need a good banker. You're going to need a good consultant. You're going to need a good tax person. You're going to need an attorney. And it's all about just having the right people on your team so that you can get things done, because all of these things intersect with each other. Decisions that you're making on the capital side, they're going to impact you with taxes. So you're going to want to make sure that you include your advisors when you're making those type of decisions.
Okay, we're coming almost to the end. Strategic use of capital. When we're talking about strategic use of capital, what does that mean?
What does that mean? Well, you want to leverage it. You want to invest capital. You want to any capital that you're getting for your business. You're going to want to deploy that in a way that's going to allow you to get a return on that investment and allow for you to generate more revenue for your company. A good strategic use of capital will be to invest in marketing. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we spend more money on marketing. We're going to generate more sales. That's going to
not all the time, because I spend money on marketing. Sometimes I don't generate what I put out. Even when I was talking to this insurance guy, he's like, when you buy a lead, sometimes that lead have been scrubbed by 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different people, and then when it comes to you, then the person get upset because the lead was already called 3 times. So I guess some things work for some industry and some don't work for some industry.
Well, I mean, an investment in marketing, you got to try something, right? Yeah. Because the people that know you, they're going to call you. The ones who already know the tax diva and what she can do, they're dialing the number, the few thousand that are out there. But there's a couple million that have the ability to listen to us that may not have connected. So, I mean, marketing gives us a chance to get in front of those folks. But again, that's why you want to work with a team, because you absolutely, just because you spend a bunch of money on marketing does not mean you're going to make a bunch of money. Right. You could spend a bunch of money pushing a terrible ad that people don't engage with. So, there's some steps and some systems in place, but in general, that's going to be a pretty good risk. But, obviously you're going to have to evaluate those things and see how that works out. So,
teamwork make the
dream work. Already.
Teamwork make the dream work.
Yes. So, are you familiar with Section 179?
No. What is Section 179?
Well, Section 179 just allows for a certain deduction for business equipment. Mm-hmm. So that's another great use for strategic use of capital, is to invest in equipment. Again, the whole idea is to invest in something that can leverage your business to help your business to grow and to scale. Mm-hmm. So you got any other good strategic uses of capital that you can think of, Dr. Huie?
Just have some. So I know this attorney that hired someone, and her working capital dissipated after being sick. So always have extra working capital, and like you said, have equipment. Have equipment that you can always rent some of the equipment and make money off of the equipment. So we're coming almost to the end of our program, so we want to bring it down to a light. What book are you reading, AC the Money Guy? I'm still reading How to Win Friends and Influence People. Yes, and like they said, every millionaire that I've been around or seen or talked to, and I've been in the presence of millionaires, they always read a book.
Yes.
Book is so important in building who you are. So from the take of the book that I'm reading right now is to always give people grace. Even in business, I'm in a neighborhood, sometimes I can't charge the price that I want. You have to know your market. I can't charge somebody $700-800 when they're walking in and they have 5, 6 kids versus a big box company. So winning friends and influencing people help your business also, because we're talking about business. This is about business.
Yes.
And reading that book, some people are like, I have a friend that she said the doctor charged her $10,000 for a procedure. She's like, my insurance is going to pay them 5,500. He didn't want to do that. So you'll tell me you'll walk away from 5,500 because somebody can't pay you $10,000. I don't think that's a smart business move, because
Sure.
you can make that up with some other people that may have other things. So reading books are very, very essential business, in business
Huge.
capital, in business
Huge.
anything. So I'm reading that book, and my 3 takes about it is be empathetic, not sympathetic. There's a difference. Know
Yes.
your target audience, know how to put the person that's coming, a customer, put them in your shoe of the needs and wants that they have. What book are you reading right now?
You know, Dr. Huie, I got to go to the bookstore and get a new book.
You have a whole bunch of books in your office.
I've read them. I you know, not that I can't read them again and
Mhm.
gain some more knowledge, but I do need to take a trip to pick up a new book to go ahead and start my morning off with.
Right.
But you know, I wanted to, while I don't have a book to talk about specifically right now, one of the things I really love about books is that you're able to take someone's knowledge that it might have taken them 10, 20, 30, 40 years to gather this knowledge.
Right.
And you can get the highlights of that in a matter of a few hours to invest in reading that. And so, you know, I heard someone say, if you don't have the time to read a book, where on earth are you going to find the time to start a business?
Right. That is so, so true. We're coming down to the wire. Next week, we'll be having guests from Making Magic Production, and we'll be talking about the power of teaching kids about credit, taxes, and income early. Because I think if we start at the foundation, like I fly to Vegas every 3 months and I go to a school that they have teenagers, and one of the little boys said, "What is taxes?" He's 16, 17 years old. You have this kid is going into the world and don't know what taxes is, how taxes work. So we're going to be breaking down for the kids next week. And we're going to also have some young people in so you can hear the different perspective of how business, because that is a business. And you want your business to be successful. Any gems you want to drop? AC, the money guy?
Man, I would just say, you know, I would just say to build smart, start from where you are with what you got, and look at the goal. Focus on the goal. You know, when you look at the goal and where you're going, the obstacles in the way, you can overcome them. But when you're not sure of where you're going and you're not focused on the goal, those obstacles can sometimes seem insurmountable. Read a good book. Surround yourself with people who are going where you want to go or who are on the same path. You know, we're the average of the last 5 people and the last five people that we spend the most time with and the last 5 books that we read. So if you look at that average, if you look at those people, if that doesn't look like what you want to look like, switch it up.
Okay, so how can someone get to you?
Yes. So you can contact me at 470-748-4045, 470-748-4045. You can find me online at carconsulting.us or on social media, car_consulting. And Dr. Huie, where can they find you to help with all those tax problems and questions and make sure they're doing things right?
You can hit me up on Facebook under Dr. Shanann C. Huie. You can Google me, Dr. Shanann C. Huie, or you can call my phone number for the business 404-791-8840. And this is the run. We're here for community, and this is the Wealth Code Unlock on iHeartRadio 923. This is Atlanta Talk, and have a fabulous, fabulous week on purpose.
Okay. Yeah, we had one last minute question that came in and says sometimes marketing campaigns seem like a waste of time. You might not see the results right away, and it can be discouraging when the leads don't seem effective at first. But I've learned that patience pays off. Years after running a campaign, I landed one of my biggest accounts from those very seeds that I planted. So keep going and trust the process. Don't give up and keep investing in your business. I think that's a great piece of advice because when you invest in marketing, a lot of times those things don't come back right away. And when people are thinking about making a decision, they're thinking about sometime in the future. A few of them are ready to make the decision right now, but a lot of them are going to make that at some point in the future. So don't be discouraged if you don't see those things come right back. Thanks for checking in with the Wealth Code Unlocked with AC, the Money Guy, and Dr. Shanann Huie, the Tax Diva. Make sure you join us next week at 6 o'clock Eastern Time on Atlanta Talks, streaming live on the iHeartRadio app.
Great show.
You did good. I know I had a lot of people on Facebook talking and sending it out. They're liking and sharing it. I was like, oh my gosh.
Awesome.
You did good. Thank you. I was zealous.
Have a good show. I'm telling you, my people.